I'll be putting links in the description of all the tools and parts used in this video. Today we'll be installing some aftermarket LEDs you can add to your F10. They look pretty nice. Make it look a lot newer. Next we'll remove the tire, jack up the car, remove all these 8mm screws for the splash guard. Once all the screws are removed, the splash guard should come out fairly easy, one-handed, no problem. Just be careful if you have the cross traffic camera. Don't want to damage that. And then we're going to remove that screw and that screw holding the headlight in from this spot. Once you get those two screws removed with the T30, we're gonna go ahead and remove the weathering strip here. Just comes right out. We're gonna remove these star screws, so we're then able to remove the headlight. Once you removed all your T30 screws, you can go ahead and remove these little clips. I got this little clip remover at the Harbor Freight, a whole set, under $10. Comes in handy for removing clips without damaging them. Once you removed all your safety clips, just have to remove the remaining two T30 screws that secure the headlight in, which would be this one here and that one there, and also one here. Once you remove all the T30 screws, the headlight will be loose, and you just have to shimmy it out the best way you can. The bumper is also loose now that you remove those T30 screws, and then you're able to get the headlight out. Also helps to remove the screws securing the bumper to the fender. And then once you remove the two 8mm screws that secure them together, you should be able to do this with no problem. Be able to get the headlight out easy. With the factory ones, you can just stick a screwdriver, pry bar, anything in there, pop the old ones out. For installing the external LED strip lights, I ran the wiring that was included down in front of the radiator. I ran it down and then I fed it through to the other side, and then with the ballast that's included, I secured it with the zip ties. And just be sure if your car is equipped with adaptive cruise control not to cover the radar. So you're now able to connect yeah. And you can just slide it in and with some force the clips will be pushed securely. And once you've got your wire ran, I didn't use the white cable included. I taped all the excess up so nothing is loose hanging and will get caught on anything. And then the brown cable is your ground, and the yellow cable with the blue stripe is your low beam headlight, and that's what I decided to power it off of, just so I don't have to run a toggle switch or anything. It just turns on when I turn on my headlights. Before reinstalling your headlight, you can push the unlock button on your keys, test it out. Oh, actually mine's coded, so I push the unlock and the headlights turn on. In order to turn your headlights on and it's not coded, you tap the emergency button once and then all your lights will come on. Before you reinstall your light after changing the light bulb for the halos, you need to reinstall the harness. Push the unlock button on your key fob. And verify the halos are on and working. And if your halos are still not working, then you may need to click the other link on my channel to change the DRL module for the whole housing. It might have gotten damaged with water or just gone out in general, and that should fix your problem. And before securing it, you want to make sure once your light is in place that there's no gap under the light before you start securing it with the screws. If there's a gap, you might damage the plastic clips that hold it in place. And I'd say hand tighten all the torque screws that secure the light first, so you make sure not to cross thread or damage anything. And then once you've tightened the screws, when you reinstall the other screws, you want to make sure you put them right, or else you'll have a gap between your bumper and your hood. And it'll be easier to put the clips back in if you remove all the center pins. You just push them in. Be careful not to damage them. Then you gotta buy a set at AutoZone or Harbor Freight. It should just slide right in. You should be able to just slide the center pins in easy. Little to no effort. Now that you've returned all the screws and there's no empty holes, you can put the weathering strip back on. Find it easier just to line that up, then just push it until it clips in. Line up just like that. You want to make sure you have a nice flush clean close. Oops, forgot my tool. Alright, now you should have a nice clean close. It should look like you didn't do anything to your car. And then don't forget to re-secure the two T30 screws you removed from underneath. Guide them in by hand first before using any tools. That one you may need to just use the bit to secure it and then tighten it with a ratchet. Or if you're able to get your hand in there. Secure it first. Okay, now we're going to return the splash guard, but first remove the airflow guide so it's easier to set it in there. Actually, before reinstalling the splash guard, you're gonna remember to re-secure the bumper and the fender. Once you've got everything buttoned up, you can now grab the splash guard, go ahead and set it in there. As you can see, I can do it with one hand, so it goes in fairly simple. And there you go, just line up the white dots. Then once you've secured everything, just go ahead and slide it on in there. We're going to install the hanger bolt so it's easier to put the tire on without stripping the threads. Put this on real quick.
Yeah, that is a good tool.
Yeah.
How many hours a day do you work? Whatever you want?
So once it's all said and done, your lights should look like this. With the low beam headlight on. I will link all the tools, these LEDs, in the description, so you should be able to do it on your own.